After the first map, I feel like we got to see both teams look good and both teams look bad. And it was pretty much as we said. The first semi-final, I said it broke the meta. It broke the way the game's played, those maps are played. This semi-final was very much in keeping with the meta. Two very strong CT teams, both having great streaks, both looking really good on their CT sides, but on their T sides, really struggling to execute. Just going in there, trying to take aim duels and losing to the CTs. What did you think?
Well, you know what I said before that we went into that match? I was like, you know what, LDLC, good T sides. They did have some good T sides. There's a lot of good strategy going in there, and we saw the very classic pressure buys where they have the Tech 9s, some nades, go for the cat rush and the quick plant there for sure, stuff like that. And this is like very LDLC-esque. They love rounds like this, and they weren't able to actually properly close on them though. They're getting the pressure in, but Dignitas were just barely constantly able to actually keep surviving just about. And so LDLC did not quite as well as I thought they would on the T half, and that actually surprised me. I don't know what you thought about that, but...
Well, I know Dignitas are strong, and I knew that, like I said, if Device plays well, and on the CT half he certainly picked it up, then Dignitas have the skill to be able to just go skill to skill. If it's just going to be an set of aim duels, people aggressively pushing, they can shut it down like that. The problem for LDLC, it's similar to Fnatic. Yesterday I said Pronax is a good leader. He's not a great though. He's not the best leader. And as you saw, listen, today he broke that. Today he had a really great performance just tactically. But oftentimes Fnatic can struggle if they don't have a big CT half. Happy himself, you know why they're called LDLCZ? It's because they're great on those hard fights. Even though they weren't winning any rounds there, it was like all Dignitas for the first part of their CT half. The ones that they were coming closest to were the ones where they didn't have guns. So they didn't have guns, yet they were doing better then. That's because when they are on those like half buys, they play aggressively, they push the action, they go coordinated. When they have guns, they go, right, well, we're really good aimers. Like each person plays by himself, they walk into a site, they try to take the aim duels. In this particular case, against lesser teams, that can work. They can still overwhelm them, they'll still get enough rounds. Dignitas can match them skill-wise though.
Yeah.
Another guy I want to shout out in this game though is, I really thought that in the second half, Smith's kind of laid the blueprint for LDLC to be able to get back in the game, because even before they start to get their T rounds, he was hitting these AWP shots, he was really putting his levels up, and then eventually he was getting the entries, and now they were getting some rounds.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about Smith as well, because he was the biggest question mark for me. We saw that the biggest problems for LDLC yesterday were kind of off of the back of Smith's not really hitting the shots, especially on Dust 2. And I think you mentioned this before. Dust 2 and Inferno, these are maps that are really, really good for Smiths typically, and you usually see him get into his element. Exactly, yes, and that's what we want to see. That's what makes them so dangerous. And of course, LDLC on their CT sides, a lot of it is Smiths locking down middle, making basically putting the fear of God into the T side by just playing these aggressive and always just he's always going to be peeking there, throwing the flashes over, and then this also gives a lot of room for LDLC to actually aggressively take upper dark, lower dark, try to push cat. They were doing these kinds of plays, and this is actually a huge facet of their CT that's actually so dangerous. And of course, that's what makes them a good CT side, which is quite conversely to Dignitas, who have a bit more strength defensively. But that's one of the reasons why Smith has to play well, and I was really happy to see him really coming back into his zone, because we also had this situation with some of the other players. For example, Michael A again yesterday wasn't nearly as good as today. Players from these world-class teams peaking at the right time, so I was pretty impressed with that. I do have one question for you though. Okay. All right, so typically there's this thing about in-game leaders, right? And in-game leaders and fragging, people always like to make these comparisons. Well, he's an in-game leader, so he's not able to frag, all this kind of stuff. What do you make of Happy being able to consistently be not only just a fragger, but a good clutch player for LDLC, despite being the caller?
In general, now ignore the game yesterday when they beat Fnatic on Inferno and he had the 30 frags and they won. In general, when he top frags, when he's playing out of his mind, LDLC don't tend to win actually. Those are the scenarios where it's because everyone else in the team isn't going. If you notice, he tends to play quite a lurking role. He'll go in third or fourth to the site. I actually don't like it in general. I actually think in that sense, that's why he gets a bit too much credit as an in-game leader. He's a very loose in-game leader. He has very simple stuff. He just kind of puts people in roles. He tells Shocks you entry frag here, Smiths you up here, and then he plays his own game. So that's why he's able to, it's a bit like if you're in StarCraft, okay. I'd think of the in-game leader as the guy who's the macro guy watching the overall thing. Now, if you're a really amazing micro player, really skilled player, you can actually sometimes over-focus on that and not keep up the other aspects of the game. That's sometimes when I think, sometimes he goes too tunnel vision on his own game. And oftentimes it's because if the rest of the team aren't going, he thinks, so I better get my kills, So I think it's when he's striking that balance, that's when LDLC are at their best. They're never going to be this dominating T-side, but as long as he can get them some stuff there and he can still have some impact, then he has a unique quality, because like you're saying, he can be an in-game leader who also frags big. Now then, we saw Dust 2 there. a lot of people acknowledge LDLC probably the best Just 2 team in the world.
Definitely.
They're very, very good on this map. But Happy told me yesterday, he kind of proved a point as well. They beat Fnatic. He says they're the best Inferno team in the world. Now they're going to play against Dignitas, and Dignitas famously, historically, have been very good on Inferno. It's another map where you can be really strong. They were one of the first teams to have those dominant 12-round CT halves. I said 2-0 overall. You said 2-0 as well. What do you think has to change if Dignitas wins this and takes us to a third map?
Going to the third map? Or are we talking just Inferno here? Just Inferno. All right, okay, so Inferno is like a really hard one because if we looked at, for example, their recent match against Fnatic on Inferno, where they actually obviously won, and it looked fairly convincing, a lot of it was just because they got such a strong start, and the pressure on the economy was constant for Fnatic. Fnatic were always actually struggling on money. They never really got very comfortable. Like JW's like rarely ever able to even afford an AWP. Like nades were actually lacking on the CT side, and this is like a really important dynamic of that map. And this is one of the reasons why I think that LDLC can tend to have quite a strong side there, because their pressure is so good. They always do so much damage, even if they're losing rounds. So I think Dignitas should actually be quite effective, because they are one of the teams that are better on lower economies. Okay. I think they're actually quite good at handling that. That's one of the reasons why I felt like Dust 2, they should do a bit better. So yeah, I'm going to say that Dignitas, I'm going to make a prediction here. I'm going to say that LDLC are going to take this, and they're going to go for about a 16-10, I'm going to say. Okay.
I have LDLC taking this pretty big, so I'll say LDLC 16-8. Right. Let's go into the second map. Let's see if Dignitas can force this deciding map, or if LDLC will join NiP in the grand final. Fiflaren, Sadakis, take us away.
First things first, I never thought we'd ever find someone who talked more than Thorn in an analysis desk.
Yeah, he seems a little bit nervous over there. I don't know what's going on, DDK. But you should probably practice that a little bit. But yeah, no, nonetheless, this is going to be a great game. Again, like Thorn was saying, Inferno, normally, back in the day, was actually a pretty good map for Dignitas. But the way that they've been playing, especially on their T sides, throughout the tournament, this is going to be an extremely tough task ahead of them.
LDLC say it's their best map, but they have to start T-side because it is their pick, and they are against a CT team. Is there a chance Dignitas can pull it off based on that?
No, not really, because again, this whole thing about which side you start at doesn't really matter, since you have to play both sides. It's just that if you end up with a 13...
But if you give yourself, right, with the pistol opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. If you end up, if it's being like super one-sided, like 13-2 and whatnot, then you really can't afford any mistakes in regards to losing the pistol or whatnot. But if it's a 10-5, 11-4, it doesn't really matter. You can lose the pistol and still catch up.
Well, things are underway. Dignitas with a 3-2 split. Zipnik's debris device over on A. Cajun B and Kerrigan on B. And that's where Smiths and NBK try to wreak havoc as they come inside. There's still no flashes out to work with, but they just want to get some damage done. In fact, it's a counter flash from the CTs to hold them out. Kiyoshima with bomb is now rejoined by NBK. They want to get up middle. Shoxy's already got inside Boiler. Happy should go down the hallways of the apartments. So they are setting up for an A take. Dupree's up in Graveyard. Does have a line of sight on toward the apartments. Zipnik's also there as well. They're going to have to focus very wisely here because they're going to get pushed from both apartments and the front of the truck, and they are coming in absolutely on fire. Device actually, though, with a team kill onto Zipnik as he tries to come out of library and fires away through the smoke, so the luck not exactly with them, and that means LDLC already have a bomb plant and a 5-on-3 post-plant situation. No HP lost at all either, so things looking very good. Device now, though, working around from top middle. What a shot, NBK, as he comes around the corner, and Kiyoshima gets to Kerrigan. So Cajun B drops down immediately after. Great start, LDLC.
Yeah, didn't lose a single man there. Had 2 smokes. They actually did a really nice A-take there. It was kind of like a weapon round. And one thing for LDLC, it's actually really key to win the pistol, knowing that Dignitas are really good on the CT side as well. So winning that pistol will actually give them, well, it should give them 3 free rounds.
They're going to go straight to the AKs. Oh, sawed-off shotgun for Shoxy. A shotgun on, yeah, total gangster. Needs his bandana, but a shotgun on the T side of Inferno.
Especially that shotgun as well. I don't know if it was a misfire or what it was, but that weapon is not going to do you any good. He's probably going to prove me wrong here now, but...
he's actually jumped in Boiler, which is probably the only position he could play with it to get up close on someone in apartments. I mean, the shotgun on CT side, playing somewhere where Kerrigan is right now, that's acceptable. Mag 7 in that position, but I've never seen one come out like this on a T side, so you might be right, it might be a misbuy. We'll have to wait and see if he's got something up his sleeve, though. He's actually fallen back into Banana to join the rest of his teammates as they march toward, but
this cannot be trouble.
There's 3 men, you're right, from Dignitas. They've got Kerrigan, Cajun B, and Device all there. There's a smoke off on CT connector, though, that does have Device at least isolated if they wanted to go in, but the counter smoke was strong, and that slows them down. They're still waiting. Kerrigan, though, is quietly and patiently. Look at this crossfire. Cajun B is going to get up close, too, although he decides he's not feeling comfortable on the ledge.
Yeah, you saw there actually Shoxy dropped the shotgun to MBK, so I'm pretty sure MBK is going to run in first here now to see, okay, to try and scout how many CT players there actually are on this B bomb site.
Kerrigan still there, but the shotgun turns, can't get the kill. Shoxy does respond though. Device, the trades back and forth, and LDLC are actually looking pretty grimaced here, as there is only 3 of them left. Kiyoshima on 9 HP. They do plant the bomb though, they do still have AKs, they haven't given up any guns because there's nobody else left from the Dignitas side in that position. They've got to rotate over from A. Zipnix is coming around from CT, Three's already dropped in Banana, and Zipnix does have armor, but he won't get away with it. Smiths closes out on him, so 2-0 LDLC, and as we talked about, they are a CT team, this is their map, they're getting a great start. 3 rounds for them could be enough.
Oh yeah, it could be, for sure, especially if they win the CT pistol as well. But then again, let's not take anything away from Dignitas yet. It's only 2 rounds into the game. Again, now Dignitas will be on a full buy here. We're going to have 1 smoke, and it should be 3-0 here for LDLC.
Of course, they have to full save too, because otherwise they won't have quite enough to go for a full M4 buy. Shoxy's only on a
5-man stack here for Dignitas.
And this is where scouting comes into play. They need to get information off of A to see if that's actually something that they might face. It's a passive 5-man too. They've got 3 players in along the Cubby side. So if they walk in, they won't see them right away, and they might just pop out and get those shots, but it's not going to happen because look at exactly where LDLC is. They're marching toward A. NBK's the only one over at B. He is actually going to get Device, and now he's going to realize, well, they haven't peeked yet, actually. They're waiting. This is the patient play they want. He's going to walk up. He's going to get taken down, and that means he's going to call. There's more than one there. They're all there. Go to A, get that bomb down, and it's all on Dignitas to get over there quickly and see just what damage they can do.
Yeah, and for the people watching it, this is why you scout. That's so good by MBK there. He even got a kill, but having just a pistol going into B just to find out, okay, how many people do we actually have over here?
Smiths with the double. Dupree at least gets happy. Cajun B takes down Shoxy, so they are getting guns out of the hands on the terrorist side. Smiths will put an end to that. They will save 2 AKs. 3K for him on the round, and it's 3-0 for his team, but they do face the rifles now of Dignitas.
Yeah, this is the moment for Dignitas. I think they really want to start off good here on the seat side on Inferno. They really need to start winning some rounds. Sure, they lost a pistol, but this is the first weapon round. If they want to start and actually show no mercy here for LDLC, they should start off by winning this round and just keep on grinding out rounds.
Interesting setup. Dupree's still back towards CT. He might have been waiting for a banana call to smoke off for his teammates. He will join the action over at A, and they are coming up middle. They've got a bit of a crossfire. Zipnix, what was Device, but he's down and out, and so is Zipnix. So LDLC might just march in. They've got everyone at the A side down. It's Kerrigan and Cajun B on the rotate. And in the first gun round, LDLC do exactly the same damage they did in all the previous ones. Kerrigan doesn't want to go out quietly, though. He does get a few kills on the board. Kiyoshima's on 9 HP, so the retake's possible, but they are going to smoke off now onto Cajun B, and because he's got no angle, they decide there's no point in carelessly walking through it and saving in the next round when they can keep those M4s.
Yeah, and an extremely fast round from LDLC caught Dignitas completely off guard. Didn't even have time to smoke middle. The smoke that they did have, though, they should have probably been placed a little bit sooner. That's why LDLC could just capitalize on that and just go up mid, get the 2 entries, and actually they got all 3, which left the A side completely open.
I thought Kiyoshima was well and truly far enough away there with 9 HP in the apartments. He actually still took 4 damage from the bomb there, so that was close. That was like, what, 4 footsteps, 5 footsteps, and it might have got him. So, just barely gets away with the gun. They've got 4 AKs on the board still.
But you see it for LDLC, they're showing no mercy. They're just basically just running around, kind of like it was like a pug. They're just running around, shooting some heads. You see every single player on their team is on point at the moment.
4-0 T-side start is a dream for them on this map. Hopefully, Dignitas don't turn it into a nightmare from their perspective. They will smoke off on top Banana. Smith's trying to fire away. Can't connect on anyone just yet. Cajun B's going to get very aggressive as he pushes up behind the car. He's also going to dodge that flash, which allows him to take down MBK. He's also going to get Smith, so that closes things off. And Kiyoshima is fleeing for cover in the safety blanket of his friends who are over toward A, but they're going to get overwhelmed now because Device is already rotated around, and now they're just going to mop them up at the top of middle. Shoxy still alive in that smoke, but happy at the doorway. A Boiler gets taken down by Kerrigan. So 2 remain, and LDLC might drop their first round in the match, and it's on a bit of a half forced buy from Dignitas. So well played by them in this one. Kerrigan just waiting for that pop flash out on Arch side. Should Shoxy come that direction. And he's going to do so just now. Kerrigan does flash him off, although it doesn't completely blind him. Kiyoshima, by the way, still lurking with the bomb back toward B, so Shoxy's actually going to pinch off on Device through CT right now. This could work. They do have 20 seconds still to work it, but Shoxy gets stopped in his tracks. So Kiyo's going to have to do some beautiful work to win the battle, and there's a crossfire set on him, and he immediately gets taken down by Device. So good awareness from him to take down both. 4-1 now.
Yeah, it feels so strange to me that people never learn that you should never run through that smoke that they place on Banana right after the truck. Because it's such an easy hold for the CT. See, yeah, you can throw a flash if you want, but if you dodge that flash, chances are you're going to lose a lot of men, and that's exactly what happened there. Cajun B just instantly got two pretty much free frags.
It's so common from sandbags. You see the 4K there where they just pop out, and you're dead right.
Yeah, and they should just wait out the smoke there. There's really no point in just running through the smoke, because chances are, I'm going to say 90% of the time, you're going to end up dying there.
Well, it's full rifles on the board. No AWPs in play right now. And again, a crossfire top middle. Cajun B is playing very well in Banana now. He's got them pushed back again. Hasn't taken any damage. Dealt a little bit to NBK, so slight advantage his way. Kerrigan's already rotated. Zipnix, though, is going to be the man that's immediately under pressure as Kiyoshima's coming around. And we've talked about Kiyoshima's entries, but it's actually Shoxy and Happy who come around for the backside of apartments. And Kiyo will take down Kerrigan, and it's all for naught on Dignitas' side. They can't do anything to stop LDLC, and MBK puts Cajun B in his grave as well.
Yeah, and I don't know what Dignitas are doing right now. Actually, they're buying all of these nades, but they're not even using them. Yeah, they use the one over at B, but they have smokes to put in middle, and they're not doing that. They're just letting it be unsmoked, and LDLC is just going up middle, gaining all of these entry frags for what? Well, why even bother buying a smoke then if you're not going to use it?
Yeah, Device had 4 nades when he passed away there.
I think they all did actually. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Just if you end up buying nades, just use them.
So Dignitas, a CT team on a CT map. Only 1 round on the board so far for them. They do still have rifles out this round. Cajun B back toward the upper side of Banana. No smokes out though. Again, they're not using them. He's got one on his tool belt. He hasn't put it out. He is, though, going to pop around the corner at just the right opportune moment and does catch out MBK and Smiths, who thought, no smoke, hey, we can just peek around, and they get off guard. Now Device back at mid will smoke that off, too, so that's going to thwart the opportunity for them to give up on B and retake A. Or attempt to take A, I should say. So Dignitas finally with something to work with now. Shoxy and Happy trying to find opportunities from either Boiler or the apartment hallway. Kiyoshima should go back and join them. He's going to grab that bomb. There's 50 seconds, though, so they do have a good amount of time, and if they're patient and find picks, they can quickly even it up, because it's actually, if you rule out the players who haven't come around from B, a 3-on-3 take at A. A kill per player. All they need. Happy going to pop out. Zipnix firmly set his sights in that direction, spammed away just a little bit, not much damage dealt. Happy now is going to smoke himself off, trying to find that angle toward the pitch. Shoxy, a beautiful flash, he might actually get through, but Device is behind him, he doesn't look the right direction, but Kiyo was out and took down Zipnix, but Dupree on the board, and Kiyoshima again on the entry, so strong, but he's still got 3. He's going to fake off in that plant, does catch out on Dupree, no! He can't quite close out on the kill, and even if he had, there was 2 players directly behind him.
Yeah, good round by Dignitas. They actually started using their nades a little bit more. I don't know if they heard me or not, but great expo flash on the B bomb side. They gave KGB pretty much 2 free frags. They were both extremely flashed. And then just the thing is about the smokes. Since LDLC, they're playing very aggressive right now on their T side. And they're not really taking their time. So using your smokes in the beginning of the round for Dignitas is actually key here, just to try and hold them off for a little bit, try and get some better positions.
They get aggressive on the smoke in Banana this time on Dignitas side. They actually smoke lower Banana, which allows KGB to push up into those pillars, and that's going to give them a little bit more control as LDLC has committed over toward A. Device. A little bit under siege. He's going to nade off back toward the boiler door. Deals a little bit of damage to Shoxy. Now he's also going to come under siege again because they're coming back at him. Happy up above is going to smoke him off, try and force him forward. And they're going to wrap on both sides. There's 2 players coming around Arch right now. Dupree flashed off. He's pushed back. It gives him the opportunity to get a little more forward. Dupree, though, responding with some spam through that smoke, does take MBK down to 15. And Device still inside pit, hasn't been taken down, hasn't been pressured as much as I thought, although that nade does put him down to 17. But it won't matter. Zipnix is inside the site. He bails him out because it looked like Shoxy was going to come in on top of him, and now Device gets one. And man, oh man, talk about survival, talk about efficiency, just making it easy for Zipnix to get the kills as he distracts them all. And Kerrigan on the flank will come out. That actually all comes down to Device, even though he only got 1 kill in the round. He just made it easy for his teammates.
Yeah, and it's starting to look better for Dignitas now, actually. Again, LDLC, they're very aggressive in their play. You don't see a lot of slow rounds coming in from them. And it's extremely important for Dignitas to actually figure this out, and it seems like they've been doing so now. They actually use the smokes on time. They have a solid crossfire. They actually rotate back by the time that just let LDLC take the first area of mid, but just try and hold the site, and that's exactly what happened. It was a good hold by Dignitas.
So they'll start off with a similar formation again, although actually Device is on the Arch side this time, and Dupree's back holding on to Apartments. So a slight adjustment. Zipnix again underneath the atrium. MBK is going to go scout out over toward B, but with the smokes out on A, LDLC might try and do something. And we talked about MBK's beautiful scouting on that stack they faced over on the B site earlier on. He's going to try and do a similar play here, and LDLC waits for the call. And they'll wait longer as well. MBK and Kiyoshima, by the way, only with CZ75s, but that's not even worth counting as a disadvantage when it's LDLC holding on to those. Zipnix now forced back inside the bomb site. Device forced back inside the library, and Smith takes him down, so they've got access to rotate and pinch in on the last 2 remaining players at A. But they're actually going to go ahead and try and secure on the rotators as, oh, Kiyoshima, watch your back, because Kerrigan is coming through. Meanwhile, though, there are frags still going on the site. It's a 3-on-3, it's a 3-on-2. Dignitas on the retake, and it is Kerrigan on the flank who will get all 3. And now it's going to be 5-4, Dignitas clawing back into it. Yeah,
good job Zipnix there for staying alive. That was key, since Kerrigan actually had time to rotate back. Got 2 in the back, he actually got 3 in total. Yeah, good job by Zipnix there staying alive. And now we see actually LDLC for the first time in the game actually forced to save.
But they've got 5 to work with. Obviously, the more the merrier, but 5 on Inferno. Some teams would be very happy with that. And Device has an op too. This is the first time we've seen it from him. We saw him go for that pop shot toward middle. Didn't connect on anything. It readdressed his angle, fall back onto the Arch side.
This could still be a dangerous round for Dignitas. You see there LDLC with 1 smoke, 1 flash. They're just going to smoke up seat spawn, expo flash in, and just try and kill off the 2 Dignitas players holding the bomb site.
Kerrigan from the CT connector looking to at least put a delay smoke out so that LDLC can't come through, because they actually have all stacked up in Banana. They might try and pop flash right through it though. In fact, they're just going to go, and they do just that. It's all coming in, and they're going to be overwhelmed. No kills exchanged though, as they fall back into the safety of the site. And KGB from the spools has 3. A great round from him and a good hold. Kerrigan drops down, but Device is already coming around as well. And it will be happy to take him down, but Dupree and KGB now on his 4th of the round. What a hold from him.
Yeah, it was really important for KGB to actually just jump the pillow there. If he had just stayed, the expo touch was really good, but for him actually just jumping over, taking cover, staying alive, that actually helped a lot since you had a really good crossfire there and he actually got Dignitas to rotate back on time.
So Device goes back to the op. He actually heads toward B this time. Kerrigan waiting to throw off that support smoke. But of course he's going to let Device try and at least get a pick before that happens. He hasn't done it just yet. They are heading toward A as they work inside and they're getting very aggressive. They aren't calculated and it might pay off because Kiyoshima's got the entry. Kerrigan down, although he did get Smiths. But again, that leaves only 2 players over to A. Look at Cajun B though. He's already gone down Banana. He's already behind them. He might actually flank them easily, although he's still lurking outside Boiler, so he hasn't aggressively got in behind them just yet. But they're trapping LDLC inside the site. Dupree gets one more on NBK. Shoxy, though, coming around from the arch side, does collect Zipnix. Dupree responds. It's still a man advantage for Dignitas. Cajun B popping out, takes down Kiyoshima, and there he is again. A full flank of the map. He goes all the way from Banana into apartments, and he closes out on the last 2.
KGB is playing really well right now. He's locking down B, he's flanking from B. He's pretty much doing everything for Dignitas the past few rounds, I should say. And LDLC again playing very aggressive. They're taking advantage of the fact that Dignitas are not smoking off mid in the beginning of the round. Sure, they do get the entry, but the remaining Dignitas players are doing an extremely good job, just holding the site, just waiting for backup.
They do still manage to get AKs out though, because they're now working with that money bonus. Smiths only has that P250. And they'll slow things down from the last round this time, but as they walk up middle, Dupree's already there. Gets one happy response on Device, and now Zipnix is going to try and come up, but can't close out on him, so Happy with a good double. And there it is, Kiyoshima, Mr. Entry Fragger. He's been the best of anyone in my opinion so far this tournament. Gets one more to his name. Happy, a hat trick for him. And Cajun B, you just talked about how good he's getting. Well, let's see how good he can be now. 1v4 post-plant. He's still quite a distance away from the site as well. Listen to them just spam away, trying to find him, but Happy's going to be the first that comes. Oh, I would go for a knife. No, he's not going to bother. He doesn't want to take the chance, but Kiyoshima immediately responds. So 6-6, they tie it back up.
Yeah, and if you were to just look at Happy there, you could never guess that he's just in game leader. He's just running around, shooting heads, having a good time.
He's being happy.
Yeah, it really looks like a public game at the moment. He's just running around. It looks like they're just having some fun running around because it's working, right? They have 6 T rounds already.
Well, that's the key. They've got 6 T rounds already.
And this is actually dangerous for Dignitas as well. They really need to win this round. They're completely money starved. This is pretty much a force fight from Dignitas. You see there to agree with the shotgun.
So Zipnix by default underneath the atrium again. They haven't really smoked him off, so there's no need to boost him up. He can just sit there all day. He's been effective. Although overall, as a whole, not effective enough because, like you say, 6 rounds given up already. Cajun B over toward B. He's alone there this time because Kerrigan's already rotated. That's another thing that I will give Dignitas a bit of credit for. They've been quick on the rotates, and most times they've been correct. They just can't get the kills. Although Zipnix does get one on Smiths this time. Happy now with the op will try and pop out and get him in return, and he might because he's crossing away, but oh, he adjusted at exactly the wrong moment. But now they should flood out. They're in position to do so. Kerrigan and Cubby has an opportunity to pop out onto NBK if he wanted to. Shoxy's also there. There's no smokes. It would be a clean line of sight. They're looking in his direction, though. He's going to do it now on the back of that pop flash. He does get one, not able to connect on the second. Good damage dealt, though. They know exactly where he is, and there's nothing he can do to Shoxy. But Device immediately backs him up. Zipnix still alive, and Dupree takes them down, so now they get the lead again by 1.
Yeah, that was an extremely important round from Dignitas. And you saw there, actually, they had 4 guys on the A-bomb side because they realized now that the LDLC, they like to hit the A-bomb side extremely fast. So even almost in the beginning of the round, they were 4-man stack on the A-bomb side from Dignitas. And we see here now instead, LDLC are forced on a buy. They're going to buy the usual, a few pistols, a Molotov to be used, and 2 flashes. So we'll see, and actually a smoke. So we're going to see here, are they going to... Now Happy actually bought a smoke as well. So we have actually 2 smokes and a Molotov and 2 flashes. So we're going to see pretty much a pistol rush somewhere.
And it looks like Banana is what they're setting up for, but what a nade. Damage to 3, significant damage to 3. Max, in fact, to Smiths, as he's down on 54. Kiyoshima nearly the same, 58. The timing, the plays. And now they just wait because they haven't fallen back too much, but they've got 3 players there. Device by Tree would be in a great position as well, and that smoke will delay things further. With only 55 left on the clock in this particular round, they flash it over now. They want to come in, but a good pop flash from Device off the wall. He's going to push right through that smoke. How did he not see the first player that crossed? Now he gets 1. He only gets for 2. But I'm still confused how he didn't get the 3rd. It doesn't matter though. Cajun B will get him. 8-6 now.
Yeah, great read by Dignitas there again. They noticed that, okay, they're not taking over mid fast. They must be going B, and that's exactly what happened. So they actually had, Dignitas had 3 guys waiting over at B there. And I think if they didn't have that, since LDLC had two smokes and a mult and 2 flashes, they would have probably gone to the site. And we see another pause here. This time from Dignitas.
Yeah, Device typing pause in, so tactical perhaps in this instance. They've got to tidy up, win out this half, get it to 9-6.
Yeah, 9-6 still doable. I mean, we saw in the NIP Fnatic game. It's probably one of the few games that we've seen that the terrorists actually get a lot of T rounds. So it's still doable as long as you have a pretty decent T side in your hands. Now, Dignitas didn't really show that on Dust 2, but who knows? Maybe they have a trick or 2 up their sleeves on Inferno.
So here we go, back into the action. Last round of the first half. Forced buy from LDLC, no surprise. They go for the Galils. A Deagle from Kiyoshima. Kerrigan is actually going to beat Cajun B to the punch of getting aggressive on Banana. They're going to push it all the way down. It looks like they've got that smoke deep. But they will fall off because they are stacked up in middle. Cajun B will at least nest himself into the corner. And if they walk through, Kerrigan's also there to pop out and support that play. Working toward top middle. They run through. They've got their backspace. They want to wake off this pop flash. Zipnix, though, from underneath the atrium gets 1 immediately responded by MBK. Device, though, on the balcony. Has debris to still work with. And look at this. Cajun B's popped out from Banana, and he instantly realizes they're coming back that direction. Though I'm surprised Kerrigan's not going to rotate back just yet. Although another smoke from Cajun B means that he can hold the position again solo.
Yeah, good hold up by Cajun B. It's basically just forcing LDLC to go towards A.
And now they will this time commit to going back on Banana, but watch out, Cajun B has been behind that car. He's going to pop out now. He knows they're coming. He'll try and find himself a better place to hide inside the site, and he might go to Spools. He's been so effective there. We saw that big 4K that he had. Flashing out, delaying further. Kerrigan's back from that CT spawn, and here they come. They're gonna march in. They've smoked off CT, and from the crack, oh, nice shot, Kiyoshima again. Mr. Entry does it as they get in, and they will immediately get that bomb plant because Cajun B is completely smoked off. Kerrigan, though, does get 1 before MBK responds. Dupree also finds Happy, so we are in a 2-on-2. The HP advantage favors the CTs of Dignitas, but with a bomb plant, positional advantage always favors LDLC. As Kiyoshima, though, might come under threat. They're both coming from the construction side. They've got a crossfire. MBK's aware of it, and they take them both down. So it's going to be an 8-6 half, or pardon me, an 8-7 half as it finally shows up. I can't do math on my own. I need the overlay.
Yeah, well, that's fine. But yeah, that was actually, it was only 15 seconds left there for LDLC coming into the B bomb site. If they would have just gotten the bomb planter down, they wouldn't have time to actually plant the bomb. But it was an extremely patient play from LDLC. I think this was the first round of this entire Inferno game that actually happened. And again, they paid off. Dignitas, they still had 2 guys on B, but that headshot from Kiyoshima was really nice.
So now what can they possibly do? Obviously win the pistol. You need that start.
Yeah, and again, we're going to see here if LDLC decides to relax a little bit, kind of like they did on Dust 2, where they basically just threw away a bunch of rounds. Because again, Inferno is an extremely decided map, or normally we haven't seen that the past 2 games. But if you throw away rounds like you did on Dust 2, that's going to hurt you.
Absolutely. So LDLC firmly in the driver's seat. They want to take this in 2-0, and they want that DreamHack rematch with NIP, this time for X Games Gold. But of course, Team Dignitas, known for their performances in getting into semifinals, want to change their fate. They want to play for it. Of course, it's a battle of 4 nations. Well, 3 now, I guess, because Fnatic's already dropped down to play for gold.
Yeah, exactly. And I think actually Dignitas might just have a mental block, knowing that they always tend to drop out in semifinals. I think once they actually do get over that hump, I think you might actually see Dignitas in more finals.
That's right. It is their first event with Kerrigan, so he's still got work, and he can take away from this exactly how they will read out as a team on LAN and adjust accordingly. But let's get underway. Pistols on. Shoxy was trying to find some damage down middle early on, hasn't found it. That smoke's going to push him back just a little bit, but Dignitas are stacking up in a position to try and work inside that site. We'll see if they actually put one up in Boiler. They're looking like they might do just that. But Shoxy now is going to come under fire because they flashed out on him. He's got to push back, but now he's not blinded anymore. The sunglasses as he comes back around the corner, and Happy inside pit. Nice one tap onto Zipnik's. A great start, but they are planting that bomb already because those smokes don't allow them to get any line of sight. And Shoxy's in library, pushed out as well. So Dignitas actually have the better advantage right now, and Cajun B's going to do good, but Smiths is still alive, and he's doing good, and Kerrigan's going to go down as well. So they get the great retake, and that's just icing on the cake for LDLC.
Yeah, and at least they got the bomb plant down, so I'm hoping that they're going to just full save now and back for the third round, because they really can't afford to do any more, to make any more mistakes here now, and that includes sloppy buys.
So they go for one from us on Happy. They're actually going to go Kiyoshima with the Mag 7. We talked about how good that can be over toward the B site. And a full M4 for Smiths. They haven't done anything clever on the T side. They've gone for a full save, no armor, no nades, no nothing. Actually, I take that back. They do pick up nades as they leave. So 2 flashes and an HE for Cajun B.
Which is kind of strange. She should have just bought a smoke instead.
Double Mag 7, by the way. Shoxy grabs one as well. So one on either side of the map. Shoxy's going to play it up close on the balcony of apartments, which is interesting. That's actually not a bad angle. And they're actually going to play the other one at the top of middle. And it's Kiyoshima with it. And there's the second one. They both got kills on the board. Shoxy with 2 of them. And a third on... What? From that distance? Come on, Shoxy. So good. And that's just going to give them another quick round on the board.
Yeah, and here comes the first test for Dignitas. The first weapon round on their T side. Let's see if they have actually worked out something. They do have all the smokes. They only have 2 flashes though, so we'll see if...
They've gotten full AKs out though, because they did get that bomb down, and that's why they went for that full save, so we'll see if they can work with it. It's not really much of an advantage because there's 3 M4s against them, and honestly, the FAMAS isn't that much weaker. People always say that it's a disadvantaged rifle in this position. It's really not. How many kills have we seen this weekend with it that have been key? But the first one again is going to go the way of the Mag 7 with Shoxy. And he'll trade it out immediately for an AK. Perhaps he should have stuck with it because he had better luck. Dupree responds, evening things up.
Extremely aggressive play from Shoxy there, just completely rushing apartments, getting that 1 kill.
You mentioned it, they're pugging. It's almost like they're playing it like a pub. They've got so much confidence.
Oh yeah, they're showing basically no respect for Dignitas.
Cajun B going to try and go for an entry potentially onto the B site, and BK is the one back behind the garden. Happy's at CT. He's your hot man to rotate. That's one of the things you can mention about Inferno on CT side. Because it sets a choke point to get into B, you can actually lead your second man off for a quicker rotation because it doesn't take much to slow them down and get them back if you have to.
No, exactly. Especially when you have MDK holding the B bomb side. It actually does a really good job there most of the times.
Smiths, though, might be the first to see action as he waits in cubby. He can't quite close on Kerrigan on the first attempt, but he waits and resets his aim. Does so that time. Cajun B, though, responds. And now Kiyoshima at the truck has to pop out at the right time. Gets the first. Can he get the second? No, Device responds immediately. They will get this bomb plant, but it's 2-on-2. LDLC still in it. The first gun round, though, Dignitas with the advantage. Watch out, though. NBK coming around from behind. That smoke on pit won't give him sight onto Dupree. And Device can't quite fall off and support him because Happy's still over in front of Library. Although NBK's given a spot away. He jumps up. Dupree gets him. It's a 2-on-1. It's all on the FAMAS. And as I mentioned, it's not a gun to be taken lightly. Spams away. So 1-on-1. And he runs forward with that Tech 9. Not going to happen. Dupree gets it. So Dignitas on the board already T-side.
Yeah, and again, you see there, sure, Shocks get the entry. You should just try to fall back there instead of just keep on fighting, because getting that entry is actually very important on the CT side on Inferno. Instead, you end up losing. You get an entry, but you also died yourself. So that's a 4 versus 4 situation, and that's only going to benefit the terrorists.
And they go back to another Mag 7. NBK this time wants to try his hand at it.
Yeah, it feels kind of like they're doing the same as they did on Dust 2. They're just going to keep force flying.
And this is the more standard position that we do see, and then over toward B. Oh, but he gets caught out by Cajun B, and now he's a bit trapped because he can't quite get back. He's going to have to smoke himself off and try and get out alive, but they immediately take him down. And we talked about how that smoke works in that position, but if there's nothing there, never mind, throw out everything I just said, because Happy, with an unbelievable spray with a hat trick, looking for the quad, gets Dupree bomb down as well. So it's all Zipnix and Happy going to go hunting. Ace Ventura looking for his 5th. And smoke's going to prohibit him from getting an immediate line of sight onto Zipnix. Desperately wants to respond. I once saw a round on Inferno where there was a 4K to start things off. This was in an ESEA match, and then Hayes came back with an ace. So 2 players, 9 kills. It can be done, and Zipnix is going to have to hope for something as odd as that.
Yeah, but knowing LDLC, they're never going to let that happen. I'm pretty sure Happy really wants to.
He does, and he's going to spam away for it. He gets it. Happy on the board, all 5. What a round from him.
Yeah, incredible spray control there from Happy. And again, we see that again. Yeah, sure.
Awkward high five, by the way. He's better at playing than he is at high fiving.
Oh, yeah, that was kind of awkward. But yeah, you see there again that I was talking about. Yeah, sure, they got the entry. Dignitas got the entry on MVK, but as soon as that smoke goes down there right next to the car, it's so easy for Happy just to. He doesn't even have to flash. He just can go out, pop out as soon as Happy or MVK calls that okay, they're going through the smoke. 3 really cheap kills, I'd say, because they don't even have time to see him.
And they expected this save and might have thought a rush was coming because they actually threw some fire out of the top of middle. Kiyoshima and Shoxy doing great work. Smith's also going to get on the board onto Kerrigan. So LDLC firm driver's seat. And again, they go to a shotgun. Look at that. MBK's got the pump shotty this time. 1, 2, there it is. LDCC, LD shotgun, LD any gun except for what you'd expect.
Exactly.
So 11 for them.
Yeah, and Dignitas doesn't have a lot of money to work with either, and they're going to opt to buy anyway.
I kind of have to at this point. Any round is a good round. Any gun out of the hand, they can buy themselves back into it. 2 Galils, 2 AKs, P254 device.
If you're Dignitas here, knowing that LDLC are playing extremely aggressive, just try and hold their positions a little bit. Just wait for LDLC to make their first move and maybe get an entry.
NBK's up close, still holding that shotgun. Not to be fooled, though. Cajun B will get him, and now Happy has to pick up the leftovers again as they enter in. Not able to do it. Cajun this time gets his entry kill. Smith tries to spam away from CT spawn to no avail. In fact, he does do good damage, but hasn't dropped anyone down. He will try and continue on through that smoke, but he's going to get spammed in response. Kerrigan is also lurking over toward construction, so they won't have easy access from that angle either. So Dignitas look like they should pick up this round, but here comes the full retake. They flash themselves in. They're all coming from the same angle, and Cajun B was completely blinded. They've smoked off Banana too, so he won't be able to immediately get into the action, but Device and Zipnix don't care. They're going to close off the 2. Kiyoshima gets 1, and he finds himself an exit. His only way out. He'll hold on to the M4 and look for cover. Actually, pardon me, he switched it over for the AK, smartly so.
Yeah, again there, you see there again, MBK with the shotgun, he kept it from the previous round, got an exfil flash from Happy, ended up going down, and Dignitas just extremely caught up on it, rushed the B bomb site, managed to get Happy as well, and managed to hold the after plant. And this is the thing that they should keep on doing, because LDLC will keep on pushing.
Oh yeah, why wouldn't you? It's paid off so many times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Smith's going to get the op out. See how he can use that. He's going to head straight to middle. No surprise. Look for an early pick. He might just get there in time. They're still on the stairwell. Oh, just barely got around the corner. So he's not able to find it just yet, but Dupree might have been caught. Does get that flashbang back up in that direction, but he's obviously realized they've put some men inside Banana. They try and work forward again. MBK and Happy. Happy's rotated out and around from the backside of Spools. He wants to get a better angle from CT, and they want that crossfire set up. Zipnix still trying to cause havoc over at A and just keep confusion, keep the rotators from getting over there and disrupting their plans. That counter smoke is so good on this map, really. Every time it's thrown, it buys minimum 10 seconds. The only way through it is with this pop flash, but they weren't in position to do it there. Now they will. Now they'll go through, and it's actually NBK that's home alone because Happy's faded off a bit early. NBK gets the first one, though. He's using that pool as a bit of cover, but Device will get him down in the end. But Happy through the smoke. Oh no, he actually gets blocked by the pillar directly in front of him. That's unfortunate as Dupree responds immediately, and I think they're just going to hold on to the guns. There's no reason to let them back in economically, so with 3 still in their hands, they'll give away the round, they'll give up the tie, but they will still keep control of the CT half.
Yeah, and this is I think this is actually doing a really good job here. I was saying the same yesterday when LDLC played Fnatic, on which side you should really aim for to go versus these specific teams, and B is actually a really good side to go for versus LDLC, mainly because they always drop off NBK all alone there, and Happy is most of the times really slow on the rotate. Sure, he was there pretty fast, he ran into a pillar, but that's something that you should really keep an eye out. Especially later on during the round, because you know for a fact that if you keep on smoking it off, you can actually afford to just keep one player there for defending.
So Smiths will still have the op. They'll go immediately to an M4 on Happy, but they won't get much more out. They do have a CZ now for Kiyoshima. Joxy with his M4. 5 AKs. And they picked up 2 M4A1s. They still haven't used much of an offensive op. Device not pulling that out too many times. But if Dignitas can get this one, we could end up with quite a game in map number 2.
Yeah, if Dignitas wins this round, they're actually LDLC are forced on a save again, and that's actually in favor of Dignitas. They're going to be 12-11.
Nice smoke that lands right in the front of the truck, perfectly placed through the windshield, and that covers off all of pit when they come around the corner. But Kiyoshima is up on top of the atrium, one of my favorite spots on this map because you don't intuitively look there, and you can look over the smokes. They aren't even going to put one out. He's already got 2. He'll drop down now because they are fully aware, and he'll continue to wreak havoc. He pops out. He can't get any more. Zipnix comes around the corner, but Happy's right there to respond. So Cajun B, all that remains, and he will get dropped. LDLC with a 12th round and regain that momentum that was starting to slip back the other way.
Yeah, and Dignitas can at least still buy here, which is good news for them. And again, yeah, sure, LDLC, they only lost, I believe, 1 player that round, which is pretty, that's bad news for Dignitas, since they were hoping to gain some momentum there going into the 24th round. It just didn't happen.
So NBK will wait patiently. Thought that had an unfortunate bounce on its way. But it won't do much damage. Tech 9 for Kerrigan, the rest do have rifles. But they're immediately going to get caught off guard as NBK pops out. Cajun B down, that's your main entry fragger, so that really hurts Dignitas. And Happy back on electrical spools. They've still got full control of that banana. Zipnix is still high middle, so they can't quite push down and trap them in place. But it might be a play worth investigating from either Shoxy or Kiyoshima. They still want to commit to this banana. That last smoke slowly going away. As, well, I think they're out of them on that side of the map. In fact, they are. That's the last one now. And they should
Happy still has one more.
Oh, you're right. It's in his hands. That's why it didn't show up in the overlay. God damn you, Valve.
And they also have Molotovs to work with, so.
But it doesn't matter. They're going to flash themselves in. They come through. Kerrigan, the first one on NBK. Happy now is smoked off, and they try and spam away using every bullet in that clip, and not one of them landing on any opponent. So a bomb plant surely to follow. The rotation's a little bit slow, it has to be said. Smiths now comes around the corner with his AWP, but the smoke screens are still in full effect. And they'll set up to hold on to this bomb and tie up the game again. The later we get, the closer it is. It's awesome to see this map come back in this direction. Dupree is going to do battle with Shoxy. This matters, and it absolutely will shut down that retake from Banana. They're running out of time. If they want to do anything, Happy will at least get Zipnix. Rounds the corner, also on the Device. He's got it back down to a 2-on-2, but it continues to tick, and Kerrigan inside the closet. Oh, on the exit. Smith's ridiculous, and that means there's absolutely no way out of the sight for the last player. So he's the only one that survived, but Dignitas tie it up.
Yeah, Dignitas are actually doing a really good job getting that B bomb site. MBK is having a really hard time at the moment, trying to hold it off, since Happy will be the guy towards the CT spawn, and just that specific round, they actually didn't try to run through the smoke. But they're actually, again, it's actually working for them, just hitting B again and again, and if I was Dignitas, I would just keep on doing that.
So back to a CZ for NBK just like that. Look at the aggressive off from Shoxy, not able to connect. Cajun B gets him this time. They'll continue pushing forward. NBK's behind the sandbags. They haven't spotted him. There's no cover. He peeks out. He actually does get Cajun B. LDLC now to smoke it off. He's going to reload that gun, but they're all over him. They know he's there. He can't possibly ask for more. He goes to that knife because what else can he do when he runs out of ammo? So Kerrigan drops him down. I'm surprised they didn't continue forward because Happy was the only one left there. Kiyoshima has gone off the CT spawn to try and support it. Smiths will get Zipnix. A nice play as he gets that lurker. But they're still going into banana. Kiyoshima's going to flash off. That might catch them just well enough, but Happy's not going to peek. Oh, he's going to have to. He's going to lose some damage. How is that not? Yes, now it does actually connect him slow to show up, but he still gets 2 from that position. Unbelievable play. Man, he has absolutely been great for them so far this match. They do get the bomb plant, but now it's a 2-on-1 because of that play. He's going to work right through that smoke. He's already going to get shot by Kiyoshima, and Happy again, under the most hot of circumstances, quite literally, comes out with 2 that buy him another round.
Yeah, that was insane. It was just basically eating that Molotov, getting two for the price of 1. But yeah, the reason why they didn't just push it there is because they knew that, okay, we killed off Shoxy in the beginning of the round, and also MBK, but they know that Happy is going to be around there lurking as well. That's why they took their time. Just that it was a little bit unfortunate that Happy actually managed to get 2 there in the Molotov before he actually passed away.
So 1 op out for Smith still. That's back to pistols. Zipnix already going off on his own. Trying to lurk as always. And Smith's holding that high angle, so Dignitas pacing themselves with the pistols. Cajun B, no surprise, the first one up. That Incinerary, though, will hold them out. Just that little bit longer, and it's getting tense for Dignitas. It's only 3 rounds away from falling in. I won't say the word elimination because they can still play for bronze, but that's not what they had in mind when they came to the X Games, and still not in their heads just yet. As they'll switch positions at B for that crossfire. NBK smokes it, and now Happy's actually going to push up, although that might give him away, that flash, and indeed Kerrigan is well aware of exactly where he was, and now NBK's going to have to do it all. He does have 2 through the smoke. A beautiful performance from him, and now Smiths is there. He's coming in. That bomb does go down. It is a 3-on-3. Watch out, Zipnik still over towards CT, but he's got very little HP. I'm surprised Smiths is actually falling back to put attention onto him because they had an opportunity to overwhelm them. Well, I guess that's why, showing off why he's the pro and not I. As it leaves only 2 left in the backside of the site, they will continue to push their setup, both 1 on quad and 1 inside the closet. Dupree gets the better of MBK, and now they've got themselves a chance. Smith still does get device, and they'll overwhelm Dupree, and immediately he gets on the defuse. So 2 rounds now left for LDLC before they will move on and get their rematch with NIP.
Yeah, and again, Dignitas hitting that B-bomb site. Even on an eco, they actually managed to get in, kill off Happy and MBK, get the bomb down. So it's working for them. It's just that they failed to actually hold the after plant. But again, it was just an eco with some force by actually. But you see again and again that LDLC are actually dropping that B bomb site.
They do force up into the AKs. Dupree only with that P250. And this time they're going to change up altogether, head toward alt middle, something we've not seen out of their playbook. Get inside Boiler and try and get something going on at A. Smiths is actually going to put the fire out at the top of middle and fall back because I think he's aware that no one's gone banana. They'll smoke him off. They'll try and come around, and here comes the entry from the apartments. Dupree on Shoxy, but they don't realize Kiyoshima's there as well. He gets 2. He grabs the AK because he's wise to the fact he can't reload, but Zipnik still gets the kill. Smith's up close, can't get this no-scope, and Dignitas now have the man advantage with this play, so a nice change up for them. Although NBK's trying to get Cajun B and even it up, he's going to pursue the kill inside Boiler, and he doesn't get it, so Happy the only one left. He's down to 3 HP. He just barely got away from that, and it might be enough as Happy elects to say, I'm done, we'll see you next time.
Yeah, this is Happy should really save his weapon here, which he will be, because LDLC, they have no money. So basically, it's going to be 14-13 in favor of LDLC, but they're going to be on a save.
Well, that would mean us do an even round, and then it's all to play for, so we're getting some great games today, there's no question about it.
And here you see, I mean, if Dignitas wins this round, especially since LDLC will be saving, it's gonna be all tied up.
Happy, the only one able to hold on, well, of course the rightfully saved, but the only one who's going to have one. Kiyoshima again going for that deagle. I mentioned it yesterday, Thorne and I talked about how North American players seem to use it a lot more often. And even I'm confused by that, because it's not that great of a weapon in Go that doesn't have that same accuracy it did. The Source Deagle is not a thing anymore, but Kiyoshima's going to try and make it so as he pops out and fires away toward Cajun B, not able to connect. As Shoxy inside Boiler is going to have Dupree immediately avenging upon him and takes him down with that shot from the AK, so Dignitas starting things off well. We are fast approaching a 14-14 tie. It's not done just yet. This is LDLC we're talking about with pistols. No question the best team in the world with that. Smiths is going to take some damage as he comes down. Banana Cajun B still on 100 health is being in a nuisance, but there's why Kiyoshima buys a deagle. Juan, thank you for joining us. Zipnik's down. A beautiful play, and that buys them one more off the map. They get a little bit closer. MBK behind sandbags. This time you might actually have it because they don't always there, but Cajun B's not to be fooled. He gets them as he rounds the corner, and now they've got free reign of the B site, and Happy and Kiyoshima are going to hold on to those two M4s they've got to work with, and Happy also has armor, so all the more reason to stay alive.
Yeah, now it's time for LDLC to actually step up here, because again, they've been playing very sloppy on their CT side. They need to sort out their CT play here, maybe actually push Banana just to lock it on, because the Dignitas are hitting B a lot, and then every third round or so they actually tend to hit A, but they should catch up on that by now, LDLC.
So tie game this late, map 2. Could Dignitas force map number 3, which is on Cash? That might give them a bit of a chance to actually finally progress through to their first finals. LDLC, how shocking would that be that they lose on the map they call their best? They say they're the best in the world at it. Well, they've got to perform and back up that statement, especially when they had a one-map lead already in the series. And they're going to force. They have to. They've got no choice. They're going to go for the FAMASas on both Smiths and MBK. Kiyoshima has that AK, and Shoxy onto an M4 against 5 AKs for Team Dignitas. There's no point in trying to get that op out. Well, they don't really have the economy to do it, but they haven't needed it. They've been doing well enough with just the rifles. MBK again going to push up and get comfortable in that corner, and now he might try and go for a peek. Cajun B, as always, though, down below on Banana, trying to get right back into them. But over at A, they've actually got Kiyoshima slowly pushing back because he's getting smoked off and flashed. Shoxy in the pit will hold on, so they've got all the angles covered still, as Smiths is at Arch as well. But they still haven't seen anyone from Dignitas, and that's potentially concerning. Now they'll come up middle just as they've fallen back too. Well timed. They've got a smoke still over on that corner on Arch, but they're not going to push forward because they haven't found anything, and they don't think that they want to walk around the corner further because they know they've got to be there somewhere. Smiths, though, is going to use that smoke to get inside the cubby. Does he get there? No, he falls back, and they still haven't found him. And Happy's completely blinded over on Banana, but it's all going to be on Smiths as he pops out. He doesn't get him. Happy gets Cajun B. That's your lurk player. Device gets Happy. In response, the bomb's actually at B, so the A was just all a disguise, but actually it's worked out so successfully that Device is going to try and get back, and oh, that's a big kill from Dupree because Shoxy would have intercepted that play. So Dignitas with a one-man advantage, trying to get on match point. NBK not going to allow it to happen. Smith's though inside the site, overwhelmed, and now it's a 2-on-1. What can NBK possibly do? He's got Dupree in pit, and Dupree's got him. No, he doesn't. He had 3 shots. He's got low HP. MBK still doesn't know exactly where Device is. He's got him, but no, Dupree is going to pop up, and Dignitas on match point. This is looking incredible. What a match on our hands now.
Yeah, and you saw there actually after Dignitas actually planned to do a B split, and after actually getting two A players, they decided to just rotate back instead. It was a really small amount of time left. I don't even understand that one-on-one. MBK should have known that he was in pit since he was shooting at him. He even started aiming at him. I don't know if it was brain lag or if he just thought it was the guy on the A bomb side that was shooting at him. But this is looking good for Dignitas.
So they're back to pistols. That's all they've got to work with because they tried to go for the force and not let them get match point. They do have shotguns. We saw what they did for them early on, and they do have a CZ, so let's not rule them out just yet. And actually, the shotgun could be crucial for Shoxy, and he shows off exactly how good he is. Come on, get a little closer to get that E button. He will pick up the AK. And as he falls back, takes a bit of damage, but a one-man advantage, and Kiyoshima now also going to try and push through and help out. Cajun Vito, meanwhile, has got Happy over on B, so they've opened up some positioning, and it is still 4-on-4. Dupree, 17 HP to work with. Dignitas need it now. It's overtime or it's map number 3. Either way, what a treat. And I made a tweet about it. Thank you to everyone in Europe who have seen the sun go down and come back up. You're the heroes of the CSGO community. Without you, we're nothing. As MBK sets in the corner, still with that shotgun, waiting for them to push through that smoke. They aren't set up to do so just yet. Device does have the bomb. He is just behind them if they choose to, and now they will, but they catch him out. Smith, though, does get one, but Cajun B, he's been absolutely on fire, immediately avenges his teammate, and with 3 men up and a bomb plant going down, it looks like we are going to see map number 3 from Dignitas. What a performance. I almost counted them out of it after the performance that they had in the first half, but not to be fooled, they're showing off some T-poise. So maybe there is something in it for them in this tournament. Shoxy, though, not going to go out just so easily. Does get one, but they're outside the site for this hold, and Device is actually very cleverly pushed through into CT and might get up behind them. They are going to go for this defuse, though. He doesn't have a kit. They're going to have to hold it. They don't realize where he's coming from. He's going to try and overlook the first. He does get the killer, the diffuser, and that's all he needs. Shoxy knows he's helpless to it. What an absolute brilliant play from Device. Man, oh man, all they had to do was realize he pushed through. But Dignitas showing some class and some skill, come back in absolutely the most high-pressure situation they may have been faced with in the recent history of the team. And now we are treated to another map 3 in our semifinals.
Yeah, and actually give big props to Dignitas there. Their T side on Inferno was actually really good. They knew exactly how LDLC played. They knew that they should just keep on pushing B, capitalize on that. In the beginning of the match, even on their seat side and even in the beginning of the T side, it actually didn't look that great. But Kerrigan, he's surprising me.
And it was him who made the call to change things up and go to alt mid that one round. They took that round, and that actually got them back into it. So it's good to see he's willing to take chances and not just sit into the comfort zones of a default. So
yeah, but I mean, playing a team like LDLC, you actually do need to take a chance, and that's exactly what he did.
Well, it's good to see Kerrigan willing to do so. That said, we'll take a short break, and we'll come right back after this commercial with our analysts to go over that whole intense match.